Hi everyone, welcome back to term 4. This term, as we've discussed previously, we're doing forces. To start off with week 1, we're just going to look at what really is a force. So we're not talking about the Darth Vader, use the force. We're talking about forces that are in our Earth and the things that affect us. So basically for year 7 level, the force is these three things. A force can either be a push, a pull, or a twist, and you can see all three of those examples there. But we can measure forces here on Earth. So generally we use this thing here. You can see there's a fish scale, and that's just a spring balance. It's got a spring in it, and we use it to measure the amount of force. It's very similar to what you step on in your bathroom when you use bathroom scales to measure your mass. That has a spring in it, and that measures the amount of force that's applied onto the spring, and therefore it can calculate your mass. Force is measured in newtons after the scientist Sir Isaac Newton. It takes you about 1 newton of force to lift an apple off a table. So in our world, we talk about two types of forces. We have balanced forces and unbalanced forces. We did a demonstration in class about someone sitting on a chair. So if they're sitting on a chair, then the forces are balanced, because obviously if there was more gravity pushing down on them, they would collapse onto the ground. If there wasn't enough gravity and the up force was greater, then they would go off floating in the air. So those forces are balanced. The support force from the chair balances the gravity that's pushing it down, and the person can stay there without falling either way. Balanced forces don't always mean an object is stopped though. For example, something might be travelling at speed without changing direction. For example, when you're riding a bike and you're just cruising, you're not accelerating, you're not decelerating, you're staying upright, and therefore your forces will be balanced. And you can see that in the next picture here. So if you look at the arrows, every arrow is exactly the same. The up and down forces are the same, and the front and back forces are the same. So therefore, we would say that this cyclist who's in motion is still balanced. However, that cyclist could quickly become unbalanced, and it will become unbalanced when these things happen. When you're stationary and you start moving, you're applying accelerating force, and therefore you're unbalanced. When you speed up, if you're going down a hill and you're getting faster, well, these forces are unbalanced. If you slow down by using your brake, you're increasing the amount of friction, so therefore the forces are unbalanced. When you come to a stop, the forces are also unbalanced, and when you change directions, that slight amount of changing direction will cause a change in the forces. So you can see there what the arrows indicate. We're asking you, what do you think those arrows indicate is happening? What's this person doing on their bike? When you get home from school, you'll often put your school bag down in your bedroom, and it'll just stay there until something happens to it, till another force acts upon it. Someone could lift it, push it, or pull it to make it move, but left alone, your school bag will stay where it is until something comes along and moves it. The ability of the school bag to remain unchanged is called its inertia. Okay, and I like the little cartoon there of Inertia Man. Make sure you read it. So this man, Sir Isaac Newton, he proposed some statements to explain the way things moved, and these were called the laws of motion. We're going to look at some of them, but today we're going to look at the first law of motion. His first law of motion states that anything that is not moving will stay that way until a force makes it move. So that's often called the law of inertia. Anything that is moving will keep moving at the same speed and in the same direction unless a force makes it change. So think about when you hit a tennis ball with a tennis racket. Does it keep going at the same speed in the same direction until a force makes it change? No, it doesn't. So forces are acting upon it. Okay, there's a video there that I'll put onto Schoology for you to have a look at, and I'll show you another video in class shortly about what can happen. Okay, have a look at the last photo here. All right, explain what has happened due to the effects of inertia, something keeping still. All right, think about when you're in a car crash and what happens when the car comes to a stop. What happens to the people inside it? Have you ever seen the videos of the crash test dummies? Which is something we're going to have a look at in a little while. You'll soon figure that one out. All right, thanks everyone. As always, any questions, please email me or come and see me, and I'll see you in class soon.